Adapt, improvise, and overcome. That is a saying in the Marines, and it's also a good saying if you are self-employed, okay? Welcome to another episode of Self-Employed Success Secrets Weekend Edition with me, your host, Marcus. On today's episode, we're talking about adapting and overcoming being self-employed. When you're self-employed, you're going to have a lot of times you're going to have to adapt and overcome. There's been times when I've had a client leave abruptly and I've had to adapt and overcome. There have been times when things are crazy, like when there's a pandemic, when you have to adapt and overcome. There's so many times you're going to have to, like I said, follow the Marines and adapt, improvise, and overcome. And I'll talk more about it in the video, but stay tuned. There's no surprise today. Surprise is I'm not in Seattle. I'm in Atlanta today. Go see my friend. But I hope if you're watching it that you are having a good Saturday. You take some time to think about what I'm saying, okay? Because it relates to your life, and there's going to come a time in your life where we're going to have to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Okay. There's a concept in the self-employment world called creative destruction. It is when the establishment that you're building, the ground on which you're building it, that ground is disintegrating, meaning that ruin is not necessarily a bad thing. Ruin can lead to transformation. And whether you're going from being just a full-time employee to completely self-employed, it's a transformation. And so it's really going to help you to listen to this video is that you're going to have to find ways to overcome. There's always going to be some obstacle you have to overcome when people don't pay you and you have to pay for things. You're going to have to adapt and overcome. And in so many things, when you get a new client, this is important too. You're going to have to adapt and adjust to them, but you can't compromise your values. Okay, there's a lot of adapting, adjusting, overcoming, and improvising when you're self-employed because things are so fluid and loose all the time that they have to be disciplined and standardized too, and in a very strong way. You got to have a structure. This is how I'm going to do. This is what I do every day. I'm going to do a certain thing, and then I have to work around. Basically, let's like having a cup. Imagine I have a cup in my hand and everything kind of flows through that cup, okay? The cup is the substance, the thing that's never gonna change, like the discipline, core values, the culture of what I want things to be here. Those things don't change, they're very fluid, but the other things do change, like people. The people are gonna come and go all the time as I'm in an airport. It's a good analogy. People, like being self-employed a lot of times, and even like life is like an airport. People come and go. They don't, but the right ones stay. Okay? Because when you're self-employed, you have so much opportunity in front of you, but you have so many obstacles too. And so the purpose of this video is to understand that you have to adapt and overcome if you're going to get to the next level. It's like a video game. You have to adapt yourself to that level and then go to the next one. Because it's hard being self-employed, and it's hard adapting, improvising, and overcoming. Like, for example, here's a real life instance. Let's say you have a hamburger store, right? And then there's a competitor that opens right across the street. I'm not talking about copying the Good Burger movie where they open a store that Mondo Burger opens up. What I'm saying is that let's say you open up a store and then another competitor comes and you figure out that I'm short-staffed today. Or our suppliers didn't get the ketchup and mustard to us today, and now people are saying that, hey, go to the next guy. Okay, you have to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Be like, okay, we're not going to serve ketchup and mustard on the hamburgers today, or we're going to open up a little bit later today. There's just so many things you can think of that you can do to help you adapt, improvise, and overcome. Okay, and understand that ruin leads to transformation. Okay, ruin isn't always a bad thing. You may lose your entire business and have to rebrand and restructure what you're doing. It may be a good thing, okay? Ruin is not always bad. Some things may die, or a relationship may disintegrate, a business partnership may disintegrate because it's time to. Okay, there are powers that be that are greater than us that are gonna help us. So being self-employed, you're going to have to adapt and overcome if you're gonna win. When you get a new client, and I've had that happen recently, you're gonna have to adapt and overcome. Your schedule changes, what they need you to do changes. There have been times when I've been self-employed when I had to do something I never knew how to do before. There's going to be so many times when you adapt and overcome, and when you're at a job, you can't do that because there's a manual for things. Being self-employed, you write the manual as you go along, but I just want to say that if you're facing challenges and you're thinking, okay, there's two attitudes you can have towards this. I'm going to be overcome by it, or I'm going to overcome it. okay, by adapting, adjusting, improvising, and overcoming. Okay, you're going to always have to adapt and adjust. So get used to that. Things are not going to stay fixed for long. Being self-employed, they're not. This is the exact opposite of having a job. Like the job, you can just expect, okay, things are going to be fixed. No, you can expect constant challenge and constant movement and constant adjustments. And just get used to it. That's going to help you. But hopefully you got some of value from this video. And lastly, as always, unsuccessful people make decisions based on their current situation, but successful people, you hopefully make decisions based on where they want to be. Understand that you're going to have to adapt and overcome if you're going to win. And I want you to win. I have to adapt and overcome. Now, I'm in a new city that I don't live in. I'm going to have to adapt and overcome in how I do work, okay? And you can do it too as challenges come up, okay? You can overcome these challenges by adapting and overcoming them, okay? And understanding that you have to be fluid. You have to seek change. That's how you can adapt to it. And I have a brain that can think a whole bunch of thoughts. I can use those thoughts to think something else, okay? And come up with ideas that are gonna win. So hopefully you got some value from this. Thanks.